Most international workers will require the submission of a specific eForm in order to notify UC International Services of the need to process a petition for attainment of an immigration status that will allow for employment. However, there are some visitors who will be working for UC who will already have proper work authorization and will not need to have a specific immigration petition submitted on their behalf. Most typically, these will be individuals who, for various reasons, have an employment authorization document issued by the Department of Homeland Security. It will also include F1 students on curricular practical training and J1 students on academic training from other schools. These visitors will need to be onboarded prior to their first day of employment, and the information contained in the Other Immigration Statuses eForm will need to be submitted before onboarding can occur. This eForm will also need to be submitted for guest speakers, requiring payment in the form of an honorarium. The first section of this eForm asks the sponsoring department to indicate the primary purpose of the visit. How this question is answered is critical, as it will determine the next steps for the visitor upon arrival. In most cases, the individual will be required to have an in-person check-in with UC International Services upon arrival in Cincinnati. However, some individuals coming in non-paid, non-enrolled statuses may only be required to submit documentation of their status and will not be required to have a formal check-in. Answer the yes/no questions as appropriate for the purpose of the visit. The biographical information section will ask for personal information about the employee, including name, date of birth, country of citizenship, country of permanent residence, gender, etc. The immigration information section will ask for details about the employee's current immigration documents, including current status, status expiration, passport number, I-94 card number, the type of work authorization document processed, and its expiration date. Visitors currently in the U.S. will be required to supply the sponsoring department with copies of their current immigration documents, which should be scanned and uploaded as part of the request. The position information section will ask for details about the job being offered, including job title, salary, FTE percentage, etc. The hiring unit section will ask for details about the college department, supervisor, and the departmental contact. The required documents for submission of this eForm section is where you will be required to submit the necessary documents for the request. Required documents will include copies of all immigration documents like passport, visa stamp, I-94 record, USCIS, approval notices, work permits, etc. Export controls need to be completed by the sponsoring department. This step cannot be done until previous sections have been completed. The checklist needs to be finished as part of the request, so an export control review can be done by the International Office. There are more detailed instructions on submitting this section at the bottom of this section. The department or division head must certify the department's willingness to comply with all federal and university requirements for hosting the international worker. The department head will receive an email asking them to review the request. The eForm will not be processed until the certification is received. The department head will log into iBearcatsGlobal, review the documents, and click the certification boxes. Their client ID and password to log in are part of the email that is sent to the department head. Once all steps have been completed, the form will be processed within 5 business days, and you will receive an email with next steps for onboarding the international worker or any documents that need to be submitted to finalize the process. Questions or concerns about any part of this process can be sent to UC International by emailing international.students@uc.edu or calling 513-556-4278. This concludes our tutorial on submitting the Other Immigration Statuses eForm.